Christmas, just like the ones I used to know, where the treetops glisten and the children listen to hear sleigh bells in the snow.
Yeehaw!
I'm dreaming of a white Christmas, with every Christmas card I write. May your days be merry and bright, and may all your Christmases be mine.
Good evening and welcome to the Exceptional Conservative Show, live from your nation's capital.
And I'm dreaming of a white Christmas.
Sing it, man.
With every Christmas card I write, may your days be merry and bright.
For Mary Brockman, that is.
And may all your Christmases be white. And may all your Christmases be white.
Put your mind to a bluegrass Christmas, ladies and gentlemen. You didn't think I knew bluegrass, did you? I tell you, we people, we people love all forms of music. I'm so glad you're with me this particular evening. I'm yours truly, the exceptional one, Ken McClinton. Glad to have you live on the nation's capital's most brilliant urban conservative talk show. And most certainly, I'll take high gratitude for that. Ladies and gentlemen, Mary Brockman is my bouncer. For bed over. This is my Chinese outfit. You know, I was getting ready for Mao. Mary Brockman's my bouncer. She's in the chat roll this evening. This is a big show, great big show tonight. And the second hour, Janice Hall is on vacay, so we will not have the Janice Hall World Report, but what we will have is a conversation about Kwanzaa and the farce that it is. And I like to just dash as many hopes as I possibly can before you all spend too much money on something that doesn't really exist. So we'll talk about Kwanzaa. But tonight, our wonderful, wonderful guest this particular evening, and this is just a sensation. Remember, Mary remembers many years ago, we had the bandwagon, the political bandwagon. It was a group of us that would come together in a panel form and talk about issues in the most unceremonious way. There was such a reverence that it was mostly to dine for rather than to die to listen. And we really enjoyed it. Unfortunately, we broke away for a bit, but we're re-engineering the political bandwagon tonight on our show entitled Obama's Losing Public Housing and Trump is Preparing to Rule the World from His Tower. Tonight we have with us Melanie, Collette. We have with us Mike Munzing, the Honorable Mike Munzing, out there in California, IA, as well as owner of Munzing Mortgage Group. And we also have Christopher Arps. Melanie Collette is an adjunct professor in New Jersey. And also Christopher Arps is a political guru out there in St. Louis, Missouri. So I really, really am looking forward to this coming back together at this particular season, of course, to talk about politics and everything else that you could possibly consider. Ladies and gentlemen, you know how we get this party started. And if you haven't decided whether you are a morning listener or a afternoon listener for drive time, you have a choice now. You have Shannon and Mike in the morning on SHR Live and as well on TECN. What up, Dave? Glad to have you here. And you also have Ralph and Lonnie in the afternoon from 4 to 6. So from 7 to 9, you got Shannon and Mike. From 4 to 6, you got Lonnie and Ralph. You make a decision, big decision, exactly whom you want to listen to. And I think the decision is very easy. Listen to both of them because great shows, great shows. You know how we start this off. We take off our lovely hats and Merry Brockman, Merry Christmas. I love you dearly. We're going to be sending out the cards tomorrow. If you don't get it, I just want you to know I'm going to be sending out the cards tomorrow. Yes, I'm late. I'm a little late. We started off by letting our kids lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance. You can do this by taking your right hand, finding a flag. For those who are watching via live stream, the flags are right behind me. For those who are watching via Ustream, the big flag's over here. You take your right hand, you put it over your heart, and you make this pledge. Take it away, kids.
Ready, begin. Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Woo! There you go. There you go. That's how you should get your kids started going in the day. Listen, we use free conference call for our program, and I'm about to dial now. We pray that the gentlemen have carded Melanie Collette. Don't really know if she's been carded.
Service is provided by freeconferencecall.com. Please enter your access followed by the pound or hash sign.
Let me take one ringy dingy there. Okay, here we go. And
If you are the host, press star now. Otherwise, please wait, and you will be joined into the... Please enter your PIN followed by the pound or hash.
there we go. And we got everything checked off.
Thank you. There are 2 participants in the conference.
2
Please
participants.
announce yourself.
Clutch the pearls. Who are these 2 great participants in tonight's conversation? It sounds like Melanie. Am I correct? Is that Mike?
Mike Munzing as well.
Mike Munzing. Melanie Collette. So glad to have you both here tonight.
Yes, I'm here.
Awesome. Awesome. And Mike, did you card Melanie to make...
How do I sound? I'm using a headset. I can get off.
Oh, no, you sound great. Just speak up a little louder. You sound great. Okay.
There you go.
All right, great. You sound wonderful. Did you card Melanie to make certain she's over 18?
Can you hear me okay?
I can hear you perfectly. Is she over 18? Because she has that look that she looks like she's under 18, so I'm not too certain.
I'm well over 18.
Okay.
And then some.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is an extreme honor to have Mike Munzing on. Before he was honorable, he was on our program. Now he is the honorable Mike Munzing.
We had good times. Kenneth, we had good times back then, man.
Yes, we did. Yes, we did. We're going to revisit those good times tonight on our program.
Oh,
I'm telling you, it was so much fun with you being on. The bandwagon's wheel broke, and it's been a while since we were able to repair it. It is now repaired, and we're ready to rock and roll in terms of great conversational talk between you and we're missing somebody named Chris Arps. So we won't wait for Chris. Chris will chime in a little bit later on. Mike, tell everybody about yourself.
well, yeah, I'm out here in California, which is just, we're the outlier now. California is crazy between the gun laws and the legislature, and I'm doing doing all I can. I just finished up my first year being a mayor of a little town right behind Laguna Beach called Aliso Viejo. And it's a sweet town down here in South Orange County, Southern California. But no, man, Canada, I still remember we were talking right when the whole Trayvon Martin, I don't know if you recall.
Yes, that's right.
Crazy times back then.
That is.
But no, life is good.
Wait, we're going to get to you, Chris. The next person I want to introduce, of course, is the very lovely and very young Melanie Collette, who's some type of adjunct professor up in New Jersey. I think she's really a student, but we're going to go along with the fact that she's an adjunct professor. Good evening, Melanie. Tell everybody about yourself.
Hi, how are you? Yes, I'm an adjunct professor. The computer teacher could barely figure out how to do the conference call because I was in the wrong email box. Couldn't find an email because I was in the wrong email. I do that fine, but anyway, I am. Let's see. I don't know. What do you want me to talk about? I'm a regional vice chair for the New Jersey Federation of Republican Women. I'm also on the technology committee for the National Federation of Republican, and I'm a huge volunteer, and I got that political disease because I just think the whole world should be conservative if they're smart.
Yeah, there you go. I agree with you.
Because I like to eat.
And then, of course, the heir apparent to the microphone, who is on the, is it the Michael Cox show out in Missouri? Well, he'll certainly.
Oh, Mark Cox.
Mark Cox. Okay, Mark Cox. He is a supreme superstar of political guruism. None other than my very good friend, Christopher Arps. Welcome back to our program, sir.
Hey, thank you. And did you get your check for that wonderful introduction there? I sent it last week.
Well, actually, I had to give it back to Becky. She said,
Remember, I told you, don't cash it till next year.
That's right. Becky said, you're not responsible for that, and she's avoiding out that check. So...
Got it. Thanks for having me on, brother. Good talking to you as always.
Yeah, it's always great to have you all here with us, and we love the lineup that we have. Also, the chat room, Claudia, we love you. Glad to have you here. Mary Brockman, my bouncer. If you diss her, diss me, you will be dismissed. Melanie's also in the chat room. Dave Milner, and there are other listeners who are in there. Thank you so much for coming in. Listen, I want to start us off in conversation tonight about Michelle Obama's speech, in which she basically stated that she has a lack of hope for America. The woman who married to hope and change now has a lack of hope in America. Want to start with you, Melanie? Since you are a woman and you carry the same gene pool, how could Michelle Obama have lost so much hope in America?
You know what? because they're so out of touch with the real world. Like, the only hope, it's like her husband is Jesus. So now that you don't even like Hillary. I just, because I can't. So because Hillary lost, there's no hope in the world. This is like, you can just tell they're so far away. The fact that they act like they're Christians, like that statement alone right there tells you that they're not Christians. That, you know, they claim that they're Christians, they're not. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but I want you, why do you say that is not a Christian thing to say that you lack hope? Because remember, they were elected because we lacked hope as a nation.
Because that's not where hope lies.
Okay.
Ultimately. Like,
okay. Hope.
Exactly. I mean, that's not where hope. If you put your hope in Barack Obama, with you. And it's now just because Donald Trump got elected, which believe me, he was not my 17th choice. I know, Chris. I know he wasn't yours either.
No, definitely was.
He wasn't mine either.
I know. I was shocked when I saw your Facebook post. I almost fell off my chair. I was like, wow.
What?
But you know, for her to say something like that, I put that in the same file with, you know, for the first time in my life, I'm proud of America.
Wow.
And she's on a whole nother level.
Exactly.
She will just never ever be happy. She's an anti-American, non-patriot, anti-Christian woman, in my opinion.
Wow, and that's coming from the XY chromosome. Mike,
We don't have anything in common with that. Nothing in common. Nothing. Zero.
Mike.
I wouldn't even have lunch with Michelle Obama.
Oh.
You know, if you listen to all the conspiracy theories out there, you may not have that in common with Michelle.
Woo!
I'm not saying I believe that. I'm just throwing that in the mix.
Ah. Well, on a night like this, when the bandwagon's back in, you don't have to be good. Mike, tell me now, sitting down with Oprah, with the words out of your mouth after Donald Trump being not your 17th choice, maybe not even your 21st choice, would your words be, see, now we're feeling what not having hope feels like? Is that what will come out of your mouth?
Well, not me, you know that. But I'm not one who puts my hope in government ever. And you know, as you guys are implying, I mean, my hope as well is in Jesus Christ. But it's not where the hope comes from. And for me, it's I can finally have hope again.
Yeah.
And you know, watching us get dragged down this collective social justice, you know, nightmare for the last 8 years. It's fantastic that, you know, just look at the picks. Just look at the picks with Madison. I spent a lot of time down here in Pendleton with my local Marines, and these guys love that guy.
Yes.
You got John Kelly, and you got right on down the line. You know, kind of anybody who watches me on Facebook knows that fighting these radical environmentalists is kind of where I'm at. And you know, you got the EPA head. Where I finally have hope that we're going to be bringing a little bit of sanity back to our country. It's been crazy. I mean, we've been sucking it up and you know, grieving for the last 8 years. It's finally time to have a little hope.
Right?
Chris, I know you share
the. You go off, you name it. You cut me loose, baby.
Chris, I know you share the same thoughts of Hillary Rodham Clinton and Michelle Obama and Lena Dunham. I know you share their opinions. We have little hope.
Oh, you know I did. I mean, I don't know if you saw my Facebook page, but I posted an article with her comment. And I said, you know, just put a bullet in the back of my head now if I ever look at the government or the president or the politician to give me hope. And I think it's a bad thing, too. You know, we're transitioning to a brand new government. And, you know, they were talking about how we're cooperating with the Trump administration coming in, trying to make a smooth transition.
Exactly.
And you're not really helping that transition when the First Lady makes a comment like that, saying that the incoming administration, people don't have any hope because they're coming in. How does that help the transition?
It doesn't. It doesn't. There's no help to the transition. Going on the transition phase, I have to ask you, because you would know women better than we would as men, Michelle. Will there be a handshake between?
My phone keeps getting
Okay. Okay.
Yeah, I don't think it's Michelle over there.
Now I gotta ask you, Michelle.
You guys sounded like did you guys have like a happy hour before? I missed the happy hour.
You missed it, man. You missed it. I gotta ask you, Melanie.
Oh, okay, got it.
I gotta ask you, Melanie. Will there be a handshake on the day of the inauguration between Ivanka Trump and Michelle Obama?
No.
What?
You mean Melania?
Oh, I'm sorry, Melania.
Yeah, I was going to say Melania is amazing.
I love her pics.
You know what? I feel like Michelle is not the type of woman that has any respect for Melania.
Yeah.
Like, I really feel that Michelle is the type of woman that I respect for the kind of woman Melania is. And one of the things about this transition is that the Obama administration is going to screw over the Trump administration. Like, I really strongly feel that. I don't buy for one single solitary minute that they are going to be totally upfront and honest and like completely transparent.
Wow. Wow.
I don't.
Yeah. Well, they haven't been transparent with themselves. They haven't been transparent.
Yeah.
And
that concerns me. Like, he's so concerned. He's so selfish, self-absorbed, and narcissistic. Absolutely jeopardize the nation's safety and security for his own legacy.
Wow.
And either withhold information or give Trump bad information in order to make him and the Republicans look bad and make himself. I truly believe that.
And that would be so short-sighted, in my opinion, of the Obama administration, because Donald Trump, president who uses Twitter like he does, and Donald has said that I'm going to use Twitter to go around the media to get my message to people. So, it's the Obama administration. Obama's trying to play games. They're playing a dangerous game because because Donald Trump's going to put all that out on Twitter. And as we've seen over the last, 48 years, this is a man that is obsessed with his legacy. And, Donald Trump can easily tarnish that with inside stuff if they're sabotaging his administration or the sabotage.
Exactly.
The transition.
Exactly.
It's
Mike.
a dangerous game. I'm not putting it past them, like you said, but it wouldn't be very smart.
Mike, guys,
you got to remember one thing. Let's look back at what Clinton did. They sabotaged Bush big time, and they're going to go by the same playbook, I think. I mean, look at what's all these different organizations. They were stealing furniture and plates and paintings and everything out of the White House.
Yeah, I remember they were taking the keys off of the keyboards.
They took all the W's off all the keyboards.
Yeah, that's right.
and one of the things that has always concerned me about Donald Trump and him being a businessman as opposed to someone in government is that there's so many things from the private sector. Not that he's not smart enough to understand, it's just that just operates so differently that it would just be very easy for the Obama administration and anybody that he is talking to in the administration to manipulate him.
Now, before we go to a break, I have to go to a break here. But listen, I got to ask this question of each of you before we come back, because people are just enthralled now. The political bandwagon has a new wheel and it's ready to roll again. This is what Donald Trump said yesterday. Michelle Obama said yesterday that there's no hope. I assume she was talking about the past, not the future, because I'm telling you, we have tremendous hope and tremendous promise. First, got to ask you, Melanie, how do you grade that response?
Your response is now?
Yep, that was Donald Trump's response.
I think I agree with you. I agree with you 100%. I'm gonna because I have tremendous hope for the future.
There you go.
I agree with you.
Mike, how do you grade Donald Trump's response back to Michelle?
Yeah, you know what? Well, I think Trump's been saying a lot of nice things about Obama. He's saying, you know what? I think he's playing really nice until January 20th.
Chris?
We keep playing. I do. I think he's going to play it nice. He's going to give the benefit of the doubt. Then he wants to let slide on out of there, and then he's going to be speaking the truth because I think he's playing nice right now because everybody knows she was just, he's giving her the benefit of the doubt, which I think we all agree she doesn't deserve.
That's true. Very true. Chris, your response. How would you grade that response?
And then let it roll,
Chris, how do you grade it?
I think he's going to leave them alone. If you look at after the election, before the election, put her in jail. I'm going to have my attorney general investigate her and all that. And then after Trump won, what did he say? That's something we don't want to go down. They're good people. They've already lost.
Yeah.
Well, I think Trump did a lot of stuff during the campaign, bombastic and stuff like that. He's going to govern in a completely different manner. Not to say that he's not going to get out on Twitter and say some outrageous stuff, but I think he's only going to get out on Twitter and say outrageous stuff, or not necessarily outrageous stuff, but controversial stuff, if he feels that he's pushing to a corner and he needs to get his point of view out or somebody's attacking him. But I don't think we're going to see as president the same Donald Trump that we saw as campaigner.
Exactly. When we come back, ladies and gentlemen, to the Exceptional Conservative Show tonight, the political bandwagon of Melanie Collette, who's an adjunct professor, Mike Munzing, who is a mayor and owner of a mortgage company, and as well Christopher Arps, who is a super duper political guru out there in St. Louis. They'll be joining me back, and we'll be talking about a whole lot of other issues as we go forward. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for listening. We look forward to your return right after these messages.
The bloviating Zeppelin. He's big-footed enough radio shows to last a lifetime, courtesy of Sean, Clint, Ken, and Jersey Joe. Now it's time for him to waddle on his own 2 feet via the glorious SHR media. Gird thy loins for the bloviating Zeppelin's Berserk Bobcat Saloon, coming soon to ossicles near you. Excelsior.
So what do you think about ebooks? Maybe you've never read an ebook before, but you're considering giving it a try. Or maybe you've been reluctant to try ebooks because you don't want to buy another expensive electronic device. Or maybe you already enjoy ebooks, but you haven't been able to find titles from your favorite Christian authors. Whatever your situation, ChristianBook.com has the solution. Your trusted source for print books for over 30 years now offers ebooks. Our always free CBD reader allows you to read on the devices you already own without spending money on a new device. Thousands of Christian ebooks at ChristianBook.com means you can shop with confidence and choose from the titles you want. Plus, we are adding new titles all the time. Browse our huge selection of low-priced Christian ebooks the same way you would printed books. Only now you can go from shopping to reading in seconds. Simply select the ebook you wish to purchase, confirm your account information, and start reading. Free samples of every ebook are available, so you can preview the book first, before you buy it. Plus, there's no lengthy app downloads and updates. Accessing the CBD Reader is as easy as going to cbdreader.christianbook.com and bookmarking the page. The CBD Reader holds your ebooks and bookmarks for you, no matter what device you're on. So, you can take your entire ebook library wherever you go and pick up right where you left off. Our customizable options make it possible to read your ebooks in different font sizes and styles. Want a large print version? You've got it in seconds with a simple click of the mouse. Already own a dedicated e-reader? Download your ebooks to your computer from your ChristianBook.com account and transfer them to your device. Try ebooks at christianbook.com and start reading your favorite books in seconds. Easy, economical, everywhere you want to read. Welcome to christianbook.com ebooks.
Good morning.
I'm Michael Wright.
And I'm Shannon Wright.
Okay, folks, that's not how it goes. I think I'm Shannon and you're
so.
Michael.
Yeah.
Okay. We are The Right Way with Shannon and Mike.
Join us from 7 to 9 a.m. Eastern Time.
Live on SHR Media.
And on TECN.
Where we'll be talking about all kinds of things.
From sports and politics.
To food and entertainment.
To money.
Family.
And anything else in between.
Community, holidays, all kinds of things.
It'll be great. Join us from 7 to 9 a.m. Eastern Time.
Times are dark. The people are misled by corrupt politicians, lied to by establishment media, and deceived by the false messages of Islam. A nation looking for direction needs a guide. It needs a man with a cane. I'm Dave Milner. Join me on Spreaker, SHR Media, Pundit Press, Live Rebooting Liberty, and YouTube for a unique brand of commentary on the unpleasant blind guy. Because the truth is not always pleasant.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Yes, it's a bluegrass Christmas tonight because the bandwagon, the political bandwagon that is back and rolling. Ladies and gentlemen, we have with us tonight none other than the very lovely Melanie Collette, who is the adjunct professor up in New Jersey, home of the Krispy Kreme, as governor. We also have the mayor, Mike Munzing, from out in California, IA, and the guru of politics, Christopher Arps, out there in St. Louis, Missouri, which is adjacent.
Don't forget moveonup.org.
Also, yes, moveonup.org on Facebook. Awesome, forgive me, website, Facebook that it is. And in addition to that, you're slightly adjacent to a place that was burned down by Democrats called Ferguson. Well, thank you all.
That was fair.
Yeah, 2 shows a night. I'll be here. Ladies and gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, I thank you all so much for being here. One of the biggest issues that's facing the inner spectrum or the inner sanctum of the Democrat National Convention is the big chair fight that's going on. And apparently there is a lot of individuals who don't feel it for Keith Ellison. In fact, they have now put up a Hispanic against Keith Ellison, Tom Perez. And so I want to ask you all about the dynamics here, and I want to start with Mike in this particular segment. I have to ask you, is this racial at all that they have chosen to put a black Democrat versus a Hispanic Democrat for the DNC chair?
Well, we're talking about Democrats, so I think almost everything's racial with Democrats. I mean, you know, being the token white, come on, you know. I'm just saying. But I had to check my Facebook profile, and I was like, oh, wait a minute. But that's what they do. You know, I'm in California, even over. You know, I'm also on the executive board of the Republican Party in the county and elect committee and whatever. But you know, even these guys, well, we need to look at every little election. They're breaking it down by race every which way. I'm like, well, what's their message? You know, and that's for me. But what they saying? What's their message? How do they vote? But yeah, they they want to balkanize everybody, and you know, it's how the Democrats think they're going to win is to balkanize and get everybody to hate. That's how they try to win their elections. It's all they see is race. So when they have, I look at Ellison as more of an Islamic, dangerous, tied to the Muslim Brotherhood kind of guy, and they're going to try to throw somebody else in there. I don't know that much about the other guy yet.
Yeah.
But I do know they're going at it. I don't know that much about him yet, but But hey, I don't pay that much attention to the Democrats.
Exactly.
I pay attention to winning and getting our message out.
Exactly. Chris, Tom Perez is supposed to be one of the guy. He's the.
I think first and foremost.
Go right ahead.
Oh, I was saying, I think first and foremost that the lesson that the Democrats have taken from their defeat is that they didn't go left enough in this election. Because if you look at Ellison and you look at this the other gentleman, the Hispanic gentleman who was the labor secretary, both of them are very, very, very left wing, and I think it's a tool for their minorities because they're going to use that as a contrast against Donald Trump having a black person and Hispanic. But I think first and foremost, they're the people that are the most left. Tom Perez is very left, but the Democratic think that Ellison is just too far to the left, so they want to throw him in as a counterbalance. That's what I'm hearing and what I read.
That's like saying I'm putting the Marxists next to the communists. And there's going to be a difference.
Yeah, because they're both very, very, very progressive.
Yes,
but Perez is supposed to be the establishment state. That's the one that Obama is encouraging to run for the party chair.
I mean, the Maoist, they're Trotskyite. It's just kind of one after the other,
Melanie, in your opinion, why did the Democrats not pick a woman to lead the DNC? It's all men who are running.
Because that's not their, in their mind, that's not their quote unquote problem. Right now. In their mind, I think that they need to get their black people back. They need to, drag some of us back to the plantation. Got off the plantation. We escaped. They gotta go get us. So I think that is probably their focus right now. There's a saying that older people make stuff behind, and I really think that they don't get it. They're hard-headed.
Yeah.
They are the most in denial people in the world. Like they're not understanding what's going on here. So that's part of it. Is that that way more of us got off the plantation than they ever expected, and so
yep.
The whole thing that happened with Donald Trump grabbing kittens was completely ineffective.
Yeah.
And they didn't anticipate that women actually think with their brain and not other stuff.
And not other.
And that we could actually get past it. That we actually have heard. We actually know that men talk dirty, and we talk dirty ourselves. So that was not that big of a deal. So I think that.
And Ken, I want to add this too. If you look at the last two committee chair have been women, and they've been disasters. They were shown to have been in collusion to try to rig the nominating process against Bernie Sanders. Donna Wasserman-Schultz, Debbie Wasserman-Schultz, and Donna Brazile, they're both women, and they were viewed as corrupt, or weren't fair. So
yeah. So
I think that may be a part of it too, why they don't want to go down that road.
So let me write this down. This is from Chris Arps.
Well,
I'll send it to Becky. Women are disasters. Women are disasters.
Well, there was always that Apple thing. So
we're going that far back, are we? We're going way back.
God put Adam in charge of that show. He was supposed to be running that show. I'm just saying.
See now, when men finally capitulate and say, "Hey, I'm going to listen to my woman," this is the kind of information we get back. I tell you, it's real tough being a man.
Right. But God said there's times when Adam was protect her behind and be like, woman, God said you're not supposed to touch that apple. I'm just saying. You know.
Let's go to the next one. Let me go to the next subject because I know I'm already in trouble with my wife on our anniversary. I'm making that statement. Our 18th anniversary was tonight. I love you, honey. Just want to let you know before I get off the air. I love you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Congratulations, Kenneth. That's so cool, man.
Thank you very much. Listen, the Donald and the Rex, or the T-Rex, I like to say. The Donald and the Rex. Has the Republican Party accepted man-made global warming? I want to start with you, Chris. Have we accepted the fact that it's not 32 degrees in Dallas? It's simply global warming.
I don't think the Republican Party has accepted that. I think Donald Trump has some inklings to maybe accept it, and it's worrying a lot of conservatives and me that his daughter may have a role in the White House. Global climate czar. So I don't know. That will contrast because Donald Trump made a promise that he's going to put coal miners back to business and get these mines open back up. So that's going to be a big conflict if he's trying to get mines open back up, but you have his daughter, advocating this junk science of climate change. So that's going to be an interesting dynamic to see play out if she does get an office in the West Wing. Exactly.
Melanie. Melanie, got to ask you here. You're going to get me in a lot of trouble, Chris.
My go-to for stuff like this is always Google Scholar as one of those, educator types.
Yes.
And the only information I found about Rex Tillerson and Rick Perry, as far as global warming is concerned, Rex Tillerson, interestingly, I found conflicting information about. I found an article in a Rolling Stone where they were completely trashing his position because they were saying he was this was a 2013 article. Where he was continuing to drill for oil on behalf of Exxon, and he was saying that he doesn't buy all the hubbub, so to speak, the analysis on global warming. However, I also found a quote of his from a speech that he gave to the Council on Foreign Relations on June 27th of 2012, where he said that climate change will occur. We have to adapt to an engineering problem and have engineering solutions.
Yeah.
And he said that ExxonMobil would be ready to build the new systems necessary to fuel another century of oil consumption. Now, that sounds like I'm giving a speech to appease the people that I'm speaking to. That does not know who supports global warming. So I to find more evidence than big aspects that the liberals are having that he supports global warming. I didn't find a lot.
Yeah.
I mean, I would have to do more research, but I didn't find a lot of stuff.
Mike?
Tillerson was just saying what he had to say because he knew that a administration was hostile to his business. So he's going to say what he's got to say.
Kenneth, you got to let me jump in on this one. This is right my wheelhouse, brother.
Go right ahead, Mike. Show your wheels.
Yeah, you got to look at a couple of different angles on this. First of all, EPA is the big one where it's being affected by that. And you've got my longtime friend Chris Horner over at Competitive Enterprise Institute, along with Myron Ebell, who was the guy who was kind of helping pick the EPA guy. When they picked Scott Pruitt, my friend Chris, I mean, I'm looking right here on a Washington Times article, longtime EPA foe goes behind enemy lines on Trump's landing team for the EPA. Now, that's Chris Horner. I've been texting with Chris the last couple of weeks, and he can't tell me much, but he's been saying it's looking pretty good. Now, being the last last 4 years, once getting elected to the city council, I quit to a regional board. Guys, if you don't know about the regional boards, that's just being done as an unelected, unaccountable shadow government out there, and it's all of our states. We call it SCAG. It's all that. It's the COG system that they implemented back in the 60s. But every one of our communities, all of our counties answer to I always thought it was city, county, state, federal. No, it's city, county, regional board, state, federal. And these regional boards are implementing this horrific stuff that we don't know about because we don't elect those.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Now, I'm going to tell you all, Mike. I'm going to tell you all.
My point is, well, my point is that a Rex Tillerson, I mean, he's got to survive in a nasty underworld of government and getting their fingers into everything.
Yeah.
Alex Epstein, he wrote the book, I Love Fossil Fuels, the moral case for fossil fuels. His T-shirt says I love fossil fuels, and I don't think he's too down on Tillerson. These guys, to survive in the world, you got to. Now you have some power, and they'll be able to flip the game on a lot of these guys. So, I'm hopeful, but I've heard other people speculate that with Ivanka and meeting with Al Gore and with Matt Damon, they may be just setting them up to punk them as well. I'm hoping that's the case because look what he did to Mitt Romney. Yeah,
exactly. This is what I.
Be the case, but I'm looking at EPA. I'm looking at the big decisions that do that.
This is what I would say to you all. I'm concerned because he is the CEO of Exxon, and Exxon has bought into a free market response to global warming. And I think it's pseudoscience. I think it's hoax. And I hope, amongst all hopes, that we see something good in 2017 when it comes to global warming and the Trump administration. But I have my doubts. I am concerned. That's where I am on the global warming thing. Listen, we have to pack it up here. And this is the greatest joy I've had in a long time, having the political bandwagon back on the air. Mike knows when we started out with Talitha McEachin and Mr. See, the name escapes me because I'm getting old.
Walter Myers.
Walter Myers, exactly. And it's kind of like Shalimar. We still have Mike, but they're two newbies. Mike, I want you to
be well respected. These guys are legit.
Yeah, yes, they are. Yes, they are. Mike, I want you to lead us out going into the Merry Christmas year. What is the greatest thing that happened? And it can't be Donald Trump election. What is the greatest thing that happened in 2016?
2016. Well, Amy being mayor, that was fun. No. No, 2016. The great year. It got a lot of dialogue out there. We had to hash it out. It forced people to articulate what they believe. It forced them to articulate, and then until people are forced into a position, a lot of times we go along to get along. They don't know what they're talking about, and that gets so frustrating for all of us solid conservatives. But now Trump, once again, Cruz is my pick, not Trump, but it forced a lot of people to have a lot of dialogue, and it forced some people to kind of step up and for good and for bad, show their colors for bad, and who people are who were not legit, and others who were kind of on the sidelines to step in. And I think activity is good, and I think we're all looking forward to a really active 2017. So that's exciting for me as well.
Awesome. Mike Munzing, the mayor, the honorable Mike Munzing, thank you so much for being with us. Hang in there because I want to let everyone know. I want you to let everyone know how they can get in contact with you. Also, we have with us political guru Chris Arps.
Yeah,
Chris Arps.
I'm gonna have to say two things. One, I'd have to say greatest thing about 2016, and it's the final year of the Obama presidency. The second thing I would have to say that my beloved Dallas a heck of a year, and hopefully we'll be in Houston at the Super Bowl.
Boo! Boo!
That's the greatest thing for 2016 for me. and I turned the big 5-0, so I guess that's a milestone. I'm gonna go for 3.
There you go. Melanie, you're next. Tell us the greatest thing that happened in 2016, and it can't be Donald Trump being elected. Go for it.
No pressure. No pressure.
No pressure.
I can guarantee you it wasn't Donald Trump being elected. I can guarantee you that.
Okay.
Let's see. I don't know. For me, going to the RNC convention was one of the greatest things. It was actually, to be honest with you, 2016 was one of the hardest years. This election season was the most difficult election season for me. It's really hard for me to take anything great past this year because it was a very hard election season for me.
Wow.
Difficult.
Wow. Listen, I want everyone in our chat room to do this.
But I will say,
Okay.
I mean, I try a few times every election season because I work on local elections as well. But because of the racial issues and because I live in a mostly white area and everyone I work with is white on local campaign, did not understand what I was going through.
Yeah.
It was a very difficult election season. And I cried a lot, not going to lie.
Wow. Wow. Listen, I want everyone in the chat room.
Crying in politics, but I did.
Well, listen, I think we hear that 2017 is supposed to be a better year for all of us. We're looking forward to hearing that. But I want everyone in the chat room, if you all want to see the political bandwagon come back with people like Chris Arps and Melanie, Collette, and Mike Munzing, just let me know because we will go back to having a political bandwagon. We'll make it happen for you all. Mike, tell everybody how they can listen to you or follow up with you.
Yep, I'm here.
What's your Facebook handle?
You know, I'm work-wise. I'm on YouTube. You can Google me up on YouTube. I'm going to probably do a little bit more political stuff, the business as well. I upgraded my video camera equipment, my studios and stuff. So I'll be doing a lot more, hopefully, on YouTube. But Twitter, I'm at Mike Munzing, MikeMunzing. Facebook as well. And, you know, sometimes when you're elected, you got to be a little bit careful. You can't always charge the hill like you'd like, but I do the best I can. And, you know, keeping it real here in Orange County. And fortunately, it's the one last little bit of sane spot here in California, but it's crazy. It's a crazy little world over here.
Well, Mike, I haven't had an opportunity to talk with you often enough, and that's my fault. But I must say to you, sir, I am very proud of the work that you've done in the state of California, and keep it up. God bless you, sir. Chris,
Thank you, my friend.
Thank you. Chris,
you know me, I serve God and I serve the country, and that's what we do.
Amen. Amen. Chris Arps, how can people get close to your political guru-ness?
They can reach me on Twitter, which is RPS, and the Move On Up Facebook or Move On Up URL is themoveonup.org. Talks about the organization movement.
Awesome.
And I'm on Facebook, Christopher Arps, ARPS.
Yes, that's right. That's right. And we're going to promote that. And then finally, the young woman that needs to be carded every time she comes into the chat room, the Euro-Pacific Bank Limited TECS chat room, none other than Professor Melanie Collette. How can people follow up with you, Melanie?
I'm on Twitter at NJGOP Diva. I didn't name myself that. My mayor did. He calls me the GOP Diva.
Listen, Melanie Collins, it's great to have.
She said Melanie. It's Melanie. I can really do something about that.
Yeah, we have it as Melanie Collins.
I changed it. It's Melanie Collette.
Yeah.
Collette.
Yeah, but we know that you're hanging on.
You're like the Dr. Boer of black Republicans.
I want to thank you all. You all have been just absolutely great. I love the political bandwagon. I'll follow up with you to see how we get this going in January onward. But God bless you all and have the very merriest of Christmases.
You too, Kenneth.
You too.
Thank you. Merry Christmas.
Thank you.
God bless you.
God bless you guys all.
All right. Ladies and gentlemen, that is the return of the bandwagon. And during the break, I just want you all to do me a great favor. Please let me know how this worked out. I know that I went past a break for those who left regarding Red Nation Rising. They normally leave at about 50 minutes past the hour. God bless you all. I wish you all the very merriest of Christmases. But also, for those who are listening via Sackheads Radio, SHR Media, and also High Place Pundit Media Live, thank you all so much. We will be back with more of the best right after this.
From day's first light till night's last glimmer, your satisfaction is our responsibility. On the range or in the field of duty, you can rely on Brownell's lifetime guaranteed gun parts, tools, and supplies. Anytime, any place. It's how we've done business since 1939. Brownell's.
Meet Jason. He was really excited to start growing his business with social media until he realized how complex and time-consuming social media can be. It's difficult to manage multiple social networks and accounts. It's hard to monitor what's happening on social media, follow discussions, and engage with new followers. It's time-consuming to publish updates throughout the day, track and analyze how effective posts are, respond to fans and followers in a timely manner, and gain new customers. The list seems to go on and on. Jason quickly becomes discouraged. How could he ever do all of this and still run a business? He was ready to give up on social media until he found eClincher, the easiest way to manage social media. Jason was amazed how straightforward and simple it is to use eClincher. With eClincher, Jason is now able to leverage the power of social media without having to dedicate several hours a day. He can easily organize all his social media accounts in one place, efficiently plan and schedule his posts ahead of time, engage with his followers, understand the effectiveness of his efforts with powerful analytics, find new customers, and much more. In order to tell your business's story, simplify the process of managing your social media, and analyze results, sign up with eClincher today.
Even when I'm busy in the kitchen, it's important to me that the special people in my life know how much I care. I choose edible blooms because it's the perfect choice. Traditional flowers and chocolate all wrapped up in one. Edible blooms are made fresh daily using the very best seasonal produce and Belgian chocolate, all crafted by hand and delivered Australia-wide. Edible Blooms has the perfect gift for any occasion. edibleblooms.com.au.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is one of the best times of the year.
Yesterday, you went on the air. We're talking about your fake Prada sunglasses. Yes. Scary called me in a panic last night. I went on the air, and I called them fake. They're not fake. They're real. We're going to get sued.
Really? They're real?
Yeah, and he gave... What's the name of the company you ordered them from? I bought it from a company called EZ. That's the letter E, the letter Z, Contacts USA. So he goes on the air yesterday and says, EZ Contacts, they're a scam. Ignore them.
Well, no research, nothing.
Yeah, didn't look into. I'm like, you're being a little reckless. Yeah. You know, even though they exactly. I don't know if those are real Prada glasses or not. But he went on the air and said that anyway.
The opposite of 60 Minutes, Scary Jones.
Yeah. We don't know. We didn't investigate. I'm sure they're a scam. Well, I got them for $150 lower than you could normally find them. Are they a scam? They're not. I looked into it. I researched it in full. I am holding legit, real Prada sunglasses. Wow. So really? I'd like to issue an apology. I just want to say, of course, he got a call from the company, from the owner. Yeah. They had lost orders yesterday because of what Scary said. They should make you pay what they lost yesterday. How much was that total? I don't even know. but at the end of the day, it's like it's almost one of those too good to be true things. Yeah, it is true. So you did your research on this? I did my research. I did my homework. At the end of the day, EZ Contacts USA, They actually sell real, legitimate stuff. You have to
At great prices.
At great prices.
Can you imagine last night, I'm getting ready to eat dinner, I get a phone call from Scary. He's like, hey, you got 2 minutes?
Yeah,
I'm
I
like,
got the same call.
I'm like, okay.
Was it 2 minutes?
25 minutes later, I'm like, all right, Scary, that sounds great, man.
No, legit.
Yeah, thank you. All right, I'll let you go. I'll talk to you tomorrow. That's unbelievable.
Everything worked out. All right, thank you, Scary. So Scary...
It could have been last season's. You know, sometimes they do that. Absolutely. Whatever.
Scary accused them of the company of being a fraud, and they're not. And that was very reckless of Scary.
It really was.
Yes, Froggy.
Scary's going to turn this around at some point before it's over. He'll go, I was doing them a favor. See, at first I said it wasn't real. Now it is real. More people are going to buy from them.
I did the homework, boss. They're real. At the end of the day, if you want to thank you, eyewear,
here we go.
Scary, if you give the name of the company one more time, I swear to God, you're fired. You're going to kick me in the I'm going to kick you in the balls. No, but, you know, I'm glad the owner did hear you. They do listen. Yeah. And I'm glad they heard you and they corrected you, because that's very reckless to go in there and say someone's a fraud.
But I'm excited to find out that you can get really cheap sunglasses.
Yeah, no, me
really
too.
nice.
What's that website again?
I don't want you to kick me in the
Okay,
balls.
Scary, one more time. It's the letter. I mean, if you do it anymore, we're going to have to send them a bill. The letter E, the letter Z, contactsusa.com.
Ladies and gentlemen, I welcome you back to the Exception Consider Show live from the nation's capital. We're not ashamed of the good news of conservatism, but it is the power of liberation, first to the Republican and then to the socialists. I have for you a drop. Yes, a serious drop as we are beginning the second half of our wonderful program, preparing to talk about the farce called Kwanzaa. This was just dropped in my lap by none other than Dave, the unpleasant blind guy Milner. Not to be confused with the unpleasant professor. And this is hype. I really want you all, it's only 6 seconds. Pay attention.
Sackhead Radio really grabs them on the...
Thank you, Dave. And for those who didn't catch it, here we go one more time.
Sackhead Radio really grabs them on the...
Oh, man, are we mighty professional at Sackheads Radio? Welcome back, you all. Ladies and gentlemen, now, this is... Nothing is more humbling than being around the women in your life. Really, nothing is more humbling than that. My wife humbles me every single day of the week. And she loves me more importantly, but she humbles me as well. So you would think a guy like me, who's the owner of a network that now has 2 prolific morning drive time and afternoon drive time shows, Shannon and Mike, and Ralph and Lonnie, as well as one of the most popular late night talk shows in America, and if not around the world. You would think that one of the guests in the last segment would say, oh my God, I just couldn't imagine being on the panel with the great Ken McClinton. But no, we didn't hear that. No, a certain individual was just elated to be on the panel with Chris Arps. Now, wait a minute now. That is humbling, okay? I just want you to know, and I'm not pointing fingers because you know it's not Chris Arps, so it's only one of the other 2. Who happens to be a woman. That is humbling, I tell you. Oh man, now I have to. Do you know, Melanie, what I have to live with now with Chris Arps because you sent that message to him? He's already got a big head about the Dallas Cowboys, and now, as good friends as we are, he's gonna always remind me that it was Melanie who sent a note that says, "Oh my God, it was great being on the panel with you, Chris." What about me? That was a great first half. I must say, I really enjoyed talking with. I like the old show Futurama, and one of my. Okay, great. Thanks, Dave. Melanie's rolling on the floor laughing. Thank you, Melanie. I really appreciate that. Nothing more humbling. I'm the network owner. Have 2 great shows. One in the morning, one in the afternoon, with 4 great hosts. and my own great late night show, and this is what I have to deal with. This is what I have to deal with, okay? Dave, thank you. Dave says a great first half. But he probably meant it was because of Melanie. You know what I'm saying? Ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank my wife sincerely in this particular second half. Yes, you are. You are still young. Too young to be on TV. We're going to have to get a contract or something on you. Check your ID. But ladies and gentlemen, in all sincerity, I want to thank my wife because there's only been one woman from the very beginning of this who was with me. Mary Brockman joined in later, and if it were not for Mary Brockman, I think I would have left this internet radio altogether. In fact, she was there on the night that I was making my mind up to actually leave, and she convinced me to stay on and say, hey, Ken, keep going. We're going to get more people to listen. And Mary Brockman, I love you, and I apologize the Christmas cards have not gone out. I will take care of those tonight and make certain they go out tomorrow. It's not my wife's fault. It's her husband's fault. On the anniversary, I got to admit that. I apologize. I did not get them out when I said I would last week. But my wife loves me, and she endures and tolerates my passions. And despite everything that happened to us in the past 2 years, she never said to me, Ken, let's wrap it up. Let's not do this anymore. And so one of the things, and everyone who knows me has to understand that I am not a gifts person. I don't like to be given gifts. And it goes all the way back to my youth when I was dating and I got a gift and I was told that if you get a gift, you're supposed to give a gift. And when I was young and didn't have much money, I felt resentful over the fact that I couldn't give a gift. And so I always felt somehow that I was owned by somebody else in that regard. So it's a whole lot of psychodrama, babble, whatever. I'm still working it out, man. Still working it out. I'm on the couch. But for those of you who are listening via live HP Pundit, High Plains Pundit Media, as well as SHR Media Live on TECN, and also live streaming, Ustream, thank you all so much. But really, my wife knows how I feel about gifts. I don't mind giving them. I just don't mind receiving them. That's just the way I am. And so, Ken, Leopard Woman did the same for me. We all have those whom we are. Thank you, Dave. I'm in good company then. I'm in very good company. Cards received 2, cards sent 0. Okay. All right, good, Mary. I'm in good company then. My wife has been the biggest supporter of me in this program. And when I went to her last month and I said, honey, we're going to get bigger, she asked, how much money are you making off that? And I had to admit nothing. So a lot of people have this idea that I'm a multi-billionaire. No, not the case at all. But we took the risk with the 2 additional shows, and they are taking off like leaps and bounds. And Mike is sending a message to Melanie that she was great. Now, you know, I was in on this. Everybody loves Melanie. Okay, all right. But I want to say this. My wife, who supports me, who loves me, who endures me, who tolerates me, who's there in the worst of times for me, and is there in the best of times for me, knows what kind of gift to give me. My wife got me this on our first, about our anniversary 2 years ago, and I ran out of those papers. It's the program log, the show log. And in the show log, I adore this. I'm able to keep record of all of my guests, as well as notes, contact information as well. There you go. And I want you to know that she could have easily used our resources to get herself something. But in lieu of that, instead of that, she chose me. So I just want to say, honey, I love you, and I thank God for you. I pray your strength. I pray your everlasting and eternal joy in Christ. I pray that your down days are few and your up days are many. I pray that you are restored financially for every dime that I've spent on this investment. I pray that you even get rewarded 7 times more than anything I put into it. I pray right now that your health is improving. I pray for another 18. In fact, I want to actually burden you with another 36 years of my life, if not more, maybe 54, if we can live long enough to do that. But I love you dearly. And without you, my dreams cannot come true. And I appreciate everything about you from the moment I waken to the moment I slumber. And even when I slumber, I dream of you. And I want you to know that. We got to go to a break. We'll be right back with the second half of our program. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, more of the best in Urban Conservative Talk right after this.
Now, Brownells, we know you may have only one shot to harvest that trophy, so we have thousands of accessories and replacement parts to improve your chances. We know how much you love to shoot, so our Gunsmiths articles and videos will help you do more and get more out of your guns. We also value your hard work and money. That's why only Brownells backs up everything we sell with a 100% unconditional lifetime guarantee. Brownells, the world's largest supplier of firearm accessories and gunsmithing tools.
Thank you for the turkey report, and I really enjoy ICRN, your station, the station I listen to all day.
Okay, thanks, Dominique, for that. I don't.
Audio Jungle.
From the war front to the streets of our nation's capital. Men of faith. Dr. Michael Jones, the underground professor, and Kenneth McClinton, the exceptional conservative, bring both constitutional gravitas and spiritual perspective on today's issues. To the most influential Christian urban talk show, it's a new day on New Day, Black and Red.
Hey, it's Jersey Joe, Hook Reaver, Common Sense. You can catch me every Wednesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on shrmedia.com. It's every Wednesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, shrmedia.com.
Hi, my name is Christopher Arnold. I'm the executive chef of Infused Restaurant, and today I'm going to walk you through some of the meals that we prepare here. We're making a pizza. We use French Italian sausage that we cook here and slice it up. Our pizza dough is in-house made. Our pizza sauce is in-house made. So everything is fresh and ingredients. This is our Thai curry chicken. The sauce is made with coconut milk and the Thai red curry. It is juicy chicken thighs as well as some mixed vegetables. Served with jasmine rice and pita bread. we're going to prepare our famous blackened tilapia and grits, our fish and grits on the menu. Once the fish is ready, then our meal will be complete. Let me tell you about our infused beef burger, where we kick the spice up just a little bit with our infused sauce. We start off with 80-20 USDA ground chuck ham patty burgers, nice half a pound of burgers, and we're going to grill it to perfection. After I flip the burgers, we add the sauce and let it cook on into the meat just a little bit. We're going to add a little bit of pepper jack cheese to this burger to spice it up a bit.
Ladies and gentlemen, I don't know about you. If you haven't gone, you should. 6339 Allentown Road, Temple Hills, Maryland. That's Infused Restaurant. Ladies and gentlemen, it is truly, truly outrageous. It is. It's a great place to eat. And unfortunately, Dave Milner, who is so wealthy, he's going to take a vacay, will not be here Thursday. So I will not order the exceptional one. It's a huge burger. I will wait for his return in the new year. When he comes back, I will definitely eat that huge burger right in front of his face. Because that's the kind of friend I am. That's the way I feel about the people I love. Definitely make certain that you get out to 6339 Allentown Road, better known as Infused Restaurant. Make certain that you order the exceptional one. And if you don't, all their food is just absolutely great. Derek and Christine Williams are wonderful owners and great friends. And I look forward to dining sometime during the rest of this year in their lovely restaurant. They just classical people. They're just wonderful people. Make certain while you're Christmas shopping that you go stop past 6339 Allentown Road, Temple Hills, Maryland. Dave Milner says, I am so loved. I can feel the love. See? No, it's not right in your back. That's a knife. I'm showing you love in the front. I'm trying to give you a hug with the knife. Ladies and gentlemen, look at this. Mike sending notes of how great Melanie was. Wait. You know what? This is offensive. But that was a very good first half, and I really enjoyed talking with Mike Munzing, Melanie, Collette, and Christopher Arps, part of the actual political bandwagon. The wheels have gotten back on, and we look forward to doing this in the near future. And again, I really liked the political bandwagon. It was one of my favorite things that we did. And quite frankly, I think it's something that we can keep doing. I really do. Now, I want to get into an area tonight that I normally wait until after the Christmas holidays to do. But I thought, because we were really missing Janice Hall, J Hall World Report. Love you. Hope that you have a wonderful vacay, and we'll see you back in the new year. But tonight I wanted to deal with it more than any other time. And that's the farce of Kwanzaa. And the reason why I want to deal with it is because there are lots of people who are spreading the malicious lie that Kwanzaa is an African tradition. The truth of the matter is that it is not an African tradition. We had Richard Simpler on our program last year, right about this time period, and he laughed. He's from Uganda. He laughed. He said that is not a tradition of East or West Africa, Kwanzaa. It is something that has been made up in order to instill communism and Marxism in our country. And what you do when you instill communism and Marxism in a family is that you tear it asunder. You tear the husband away, and he's replaced by the state. You tear the maternity away from the woman, and it's replaced by the state. And the children become the actual tools or weapons of those who happen to be the rulers. There are those who wish to promote Kwanzaa. I have been invited to several events at the end of the year, going into the new year, starting on December 26th, when a lot of people like to do the Kwanzaa thing. And actually, I was invited to an event right after Thanksgiving to celebrate Kwanzaa. The minute I see Kwanzaa, I'm not coming to your event. I just want to let y'all know that, because I don't believe in Kwanzaa. Not in the way that it's being presented as an alternative to Christmas. What it actually is a attempt to infuse racial tension and hatred for Caucasians, whites, however way you wish to say it, and justify it in a religious order and a traditional manner. So I want you all, not just because of the great first half that we had, to pass this along to other people, but because of this hour that we're going to talk about the history of Kwanzaa. I don't get too many friends who say, Ken, cool, that's what I'm talking about. Exactly, Melanie. We're going to get to that in a moment. I don't get too many friends this time of the year anyway, because I'm a conservative who voted for Donald Trump. So I'm not invited to the family affairs. I just be straight with you all. My choice of righteousness has gotten me thrown out of churches. It has gotten me thrown out of families. And it has gotten me forbidden for being a part of society. And quite frankly, I'm okay with that. I'm not maladjusted. I'm okay with it. In fact, it gives me more time to be with my wife, which I would prefer over any other thing. But the reason why I hate this, and you know my feelings when it comes to the maliciousness applied to children. Our campaign with Donovan Larkins in terms of raising money to heal abused children, sexually abused children on Shekinah Ranch. And I hope that you all are able to donate. And I want to thank Dave Milner and also Mary Brockman for your donations last night. Smooches to you. Thank you so much. I hope others will donate to our campaign of trying to raise $10,000 for the Shekinah Ranch to provide services to those who have been broken of heart, beaten of mind, and injured of body. Children as young as 3 years old have gone to the Shekinah Ranch because of molestation. And I'm asking that you give towards that. But if I feel that way, that you are molesting children, imagine what I feel about you molesting the minds and the hearts and souls of children and their families with this fraud called Kwanzaa. Want to go with it very quickly. I'm going to give you my notes, and you can take it for the grain of salt that it's worth. And you can answer, because you give a right answer for why we believe what we believe. The first thing comes in the idea of race. Race is a new thing. In the annals of history, men were not defined by their color of skin. They were defined by their nation. When you look in the scriptures, you'll find that people were defined by their nation. There might be a few instances where they describe the color of Jesus' skin and so on or whatever. But in all of the scriptures, the majority of it is based on nations. The Egyptians, the Hebrews, and so on. The Romans. Nadra Niddle wrote this in May of this year. In fact, she says, it's a common belief that race can be broken down into 3 categories: Negroid, Mongoloid, and Caucasoid. But according to science, that's not so. While the American concept of race took off in the late 1600s and persists even today, researchers now argue that there's no scientific basis for race. I want you all to get this out to all of your liberal friends, especially at Christmas time. This is the best time to do it. Get in their faces is what Obama said. So I want you to get in their face and tell them what the researchers are saying at this time period. Because it's, you know, liberals don't mind throwing science in your face. Well, they prefer pseudoscience, but they want to let you know that science matters. There is no scientific basis for race. None. So what is this race thing? Well, according to John Relafort, author of The Fundamentals of Biological Anthropology, race is a group of populations that share some biological characteristics. These populations differ from other groups of populations according to these characteristics. Now, there is a great intensity in our society today to focus on DNA, genes. The preponderance coming out of the 1980s and research that broke down virtually by the end of the decade. I think it was the early decade of the 90s, but broke down the DNA code of humans, which was a dramatic event in science. Nowadays, it seems very cumbersome to even think of its drama when we have so many TV shows on the air, judge shows that, or reality TV shows where you have to have a DNA test to determine if that child is yours. So, you know, kind of dumbed it all down for us. But literally, there's a high degree of gene flow among people groups that makes it hard to organize them into discrete categories. I know those guys come on TV late at night and they tell you, Ken, if you would just pay this amount of money, we can take a swab and we can take a little bit of your blood and we can determine where you came from. I came from God, and that's all I need to know. Okay, it may not necessarily satisfy you, but I came from God. And what many of them find out is that their families come from different groups, different areas of the world, and so on. But the truth of the matter is, once you get past your grandmother, it is very difficult to determine from whence you came. Scientists will tell you that in a nutshell. Because of the ramifications of so many people in this earth, there's no way after a certain number that you can tell specifically. That's just science. I'm just trying to give you a little science. She went on, the author, Nadra Nittle, went on to write that in addition to skin color, features such as hair texture and face shape have been used to classify people into races. But many people groups cannot be characterized as Caucasoid, Negroid, or Mongoloid, the defunct terms used for the so-called 3 races. Take Native Australians, for instance. Although typically dark-skinned, they tend to have curly hair, which is often light and colored. On the basis of skin color, we might be tempted to label these people as African, but on the basis of hair and facial shape, they might be classified as European. Relafort writes, one approach has been to create a 4th category, the Australoid. Why don't we come up with the Moonloid while we're at it? So the bottom line is what we look at is that scientifically, if we're wrapping this up, we can now say definitively that individuals such as Morton and Agassiz are wrong. Race is fluid and thus difficult to pinpoint scientifically. Relafort wrote this. Just one same link that I gave you, and that's why people should tune into the TECM page and get into the chat room so you can get these links so that you'll be able to talk to people In truth, race is fluid and thus difficult to pinpoint scientifically. Race is a concept of human minds, not of nature. So that's where I wanted to go. That's where I wanted to go. Because it is the mind that we cannot control. It is the mind that we have Donald Trump in office. Because there were so many people of a preset thinking. They built the concept of prejudice and deceit, and they passed it off in a tradition that's fraudulent, and a religious effect that is fraudulent. And children are being whooped up into this intense thinking that Kwanzaa is real. We've established tonight that there's no real such thing as race. The only way you can describe someone is actually by the nation in which they live. I know. I know. You're far more wise than I am. You can look at me and tell that I'm what? What do I look like as I take off my lovely hat? I've been around Filipinos who say, Ken, you must be Filipino. I've been around Mexicans who say, Ken, you must be Mexican. I've been around black people as a conservative who said, I must be white. I've been around white people who say, you must be black. What race am I? What nationality am I? The great nationality that I belong to is the United States of America, USA. The skin color doesn't make a difference, except if you have already a reprobate mind. Y'all read Romans 1 when you get a chance. You will find in there the concepts of a reprobate mind. And in fact, let me do that real quick, since I want to get this all scientifically laid out for you. I always use the online etymology dictionary when I'm doing my Bible study on Sunday mornings at 9:05. I would invite you to come on our network to listen to them. But I want you to understand what a reprobate mind is. Okay, as we look at the term reprobate. You're not going to like this. Okay, but I want to give it to you. It is from the Latin, which means reprobare. Well, it's the Latin reprobare, which means disprove, reject, condemn. There you go. What does it mean? It means proven to be unworthy. Unworthy of what, Ken? What are you talking about in terms of a reprobate mind? It is disapproving unto God. It is condemnable unto God, and it is rejected by God for us to focus on the color of one's skin. Your color does not justify whom you are, nor does it justify the behavior towards you or towards others. In fact, your color of skin basically states that somewhere genetically you align yourself with someone who happens to be that color. Nothing more, nothing less. God even asked, how dare you call what I create bad? There is nothing bad that I created. Many of us are focused on this diversity issue, multiracial identification, but the truth of the matter is this. It doesn't matter about your skin tone. It matters from whence you come, your nationality. There's also another problem with Kwanzaa, and it's called racial anti-Semitism. Racial anti-Semitism. That is the prejudice against Jews. Racial anti-Semitism is prejudice against Jews. Yes, Kwanzaa offers the opportunity for us to prejudge the Jews as unworthy of assimilation to or basically collaborative effort with. In fact, many individuals advise that Jews is a race. Now, I don't know about you, but when I think of Moses and I think of Sammy Davis Jr., I don't think they share the same color of skin, according to. So that's an idiotic lie. But it is an idiotic lie that has been used in Black American churches for at least the past century to separate us from the Judeo portion of our Christian beliefs. And by doing that, it separates us from whom Jesus Christ is. Jesus was a Jew who died on the cross at the hands of both Jew and Gentile, raised by a God who so loved the world that he gave his only begotten Son, that whomsoever believeth in him shall not perish, but have eternal life. Ask me what the color of Jesus' skin was. It doesn't matter if you need salvation, but it matters to those who have been termed, and I have a cousin who's a great professor at a historically black college university who gets into debate with me on this all the time. I'm going to ask you something, ladies and gentlemen, before we go to break. What color does it make? What difference does it make what color Jesus is? As long as Jesus is Savior of the world. Dave writes of Ethiopian Jews and Jews from New York City very likely do not share the same skin tone. You're absolutely right. Melanie says olive. I have news for you all. You see this pretty face? I visited a friend of mine. I'm going to go to a break. I know I'm gone past, but I got to say this. I visited a friend in South Africa. And in fact, that friend's son happened to be the president of Canada's AT&T. And he gave me this. He died many years ago. But he was a very, very good friend to me in the short time that I was in South Africa. Gave me this original Shimon Israeli Fiddler on the Roof. And I keep in my office. I value it so greatly. I keep it near me. He gave that to me. But up on his wall was a metal plate beaten out and was 1,500 years old. I asked him for it because I was leaving and I wanted to take it back home to show everybody this very, very beautiful thing. But he wouldn't let me do it. I mean, that's a antique. It was a very important item. But the face of Moses, you look at every time you turn on the Exceptional Conservative Show. This face looked exactly like the face of Moses. We'll be right back, right after this.
Hey, it's Jersey Joe from the Reaver Common Sense. You can catch me every Wednesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time on shrmedia.com. That's every Wednesday night, 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, shrmedia.com.
Meet Jason. He was really excited to start growing his business with social media until he realized how complex and time-consuming social media can be. It's difficult to manage multiple social networks and accounts. It's hard to monitor what's happening on social media, follow discussions, and engage with new followers. It's time-consuming to publish updates throughout the day, track and analyze how effective posts are, respond to fans and followers in a timely manner, and gain new customers. The list seems to go on and on. Jason quickly becomes discouraged. How could he ever do all of this and still run a business? He was ready to give up on social media until he found eClincher, the easiest way to manage social media. Jason was amazed how straightforward and simple it is to use eClincher. With eClincher, Jason is now able to leverage the power of social media without having to dedicate several hours a day. He can easily organize all his social media accounts in one place, efficiently plan and schedule his posts ahead of time, engage with his followers, understand the effectiveness of his efforts with powerful analytics, find new customers, and much more. In order to tell your business's story, simplify the process of managing your social media, and analyze results, sign up with eClincher today.
Even when I'm busy in the kitchen, it's important to me that the special people in my life know how much I care. I choose edible blooms because it's the perfect choice. Traditional flowers and chocolate all wrapped up in one. Edible blooms are made fresh daily using the very best seasonal produce and Belgian chocolate, all crafted by hand and delivered Australia-wide. Edible Blooms has the perfect gift for any occasion. edibleblooms.com.au.
From the war front to the streets of our nation's capital, men of faith, Dr. Michael Jones, the underground professor, and Kenneth McClinton, the exceptional conservative, bring both constitutional gravitas and spiritual perspective on today's issues to the most influential Christian urban talk show, 9:05 p.m. Eastern, Thursdays. It's a new day on New Day, Black and Red.
Good morning.
I'm Michael Wright.
And I'm Shannon Wright.
Okay, folks, that's not how it goes. I think I'm Shannon, and you're so. Michael.
Yeah.
Okay. We are The Right Way with Shannon and Mike.
Join us from 7 to 9 a.m. Eastern Time.
Live on SHR Media.
And on TECN.
Where we'll be talking about all kinds of things.
From sports and politics.
To food and entertainment.
To money.
Family.
And anything else in between.
Community, holidays, all kinds of things.
It'll be great. Join us from 7 to 9 a.m. Eastern Time.
Ladies and gentlemen, I am celebrating a bluegrass Christmas. Yeah, we folk listen to all music. Just in case you didn't know that. Welcome back to the Exceptional Conservative Show live for the nation's capital. We are not ashamed of the good news of conservatism, for it is the power of liberation, first to the Republican and then the Socialist. So glad to have Mary Brockman, my bouncer in chief, in the chat room this evening, and so many others listening to us around the world. I want to talk with you tonight about fraud. The fraud called, ladies and gentlemen, Kwanzaa. I think I have done a very good job of establishing to you that we have racism, which doesn't exist, but is a prejudice of the mind, a reprobate mind, which is disapproved of by God. I think I've done a good job of explaining to you racial anti-Semitism, which has been in effect in this country for at least over 100 years and has been preached by black theologians or black theologians. What is that? Theology, liberation, black liberation theology, and also liberation theology in the Catholic Church. Somehow to separate the Jew from Jesus, to separate the connection between Judeo and Christian, by calling Jews a race. Judaism is not a race. It is a belief in God. It is a faith. We see it as the Old Testament version, Christianity being the New Testament version. According to William Nichols, the dividing line was the possibility of effective conversion. A Jew ceased to be a Jew upon baptism. However, with racial anti-Semitism, now the assimilated Jew was still a Jew even after baptism. From the Enlightenment onward, it is no longer possible to draw clear lines of distinction between religious and racial forms of hostility towards Jews. Once Jews have been emancipated and secular thinking makes its appearance without leaving behind the old Christian hostility towards Jews, the new term anti-Semitism becomes almost unavoidable even before explicitly racist doctrines appear. That's what William Nichols writes. But can I tell you that no matter what you say, no matter what you uncover, the truth of the matter is, no matter how you pursue it, Judaism is not a race. Even though we have established the fact that you can't even design a race. No Mongoloid, no Australoid, no Caucasoid. Even where do you get your race from? You don't. But from the mindset of men. Men who despise you and wish to degrade you. Racial anti-Semitism. But what does that have to do with Kwanzaa, Ken? I mean, you don't understand it, man. We have been put down for a long time. Black people need something. They need a religion. They need a faith that recognizes the fact that they are black. Do you understand what just went wrong in that explanation? Faith that recognizes the color of your skin is of no good to your spirit. You see, if Christianity is only for white people, then all black people are most miserable. If Judaism is only for those who happen to be in Jerusalem, then of all men, the Jews are most miserable. You see, this is the connectivity that isn't talked about on Fox News or anything else. The connectivity is this. Those who are in progressive Marxist, socialist, communistic beliefs here in America side with those Jews who despise themselves and believe that Israel should be broken up. That Israel should not be a nation. But Ken, what does this all got to do with Kwanzaa? I want you to understand that the creator of Kwanzaa was not only a racist, but a Marxist. Can I explain that to you just one more time? The creator of Kwanzaa was both a racist and a Marxist. I have to put this in the chat roll so that people understand. What do you get when you put racism together with Marxism? You get Kwanzaa. Why do you say that, Ken? Dr. Maulana Karenge introduced, not discover. I want you to know that they are a key term. He introduced, did not discover. Discover means that it existed before. It did not. He created it himself. In fact, the celebration is not a festival originating in any of the 55 African countries, nor is it an African Christmas celebration. Kwanzaa is an African American celebration of life from December 26th to January 1. It is called actually Akwasosim. Akwasosim. Kwanzaa is the word that is used. It has similarities to Thanksgiving and the Yam Festival in Ghana and Nigeria, and comes from the language Kiswahili in Kenya, Uganda, and Tanzania. But why am I giving you all this information? I'm giving it to you because a lot of people want you to just stop right there. They want you to stop and look at the tenderness. Isn't it wonderful that there's an ingathering, a reverence, a commemoration, a recommitment, and celebration? The 7 principles. Isn't that wonderful, those 7 principles of self-determination, unity, conjuliga, cooperative? Yeah, isn't that wonderful? I want you to ask yourself, how many are practicing this after they've gone through getting their kente cloth outfits to show off their African heritage? The truth of the matter is, not even in Africa do they celebrate this. Not even in Africa. Why is that important? It's important because Al Sharpton glorified the holiday, or the holy day as it is, saying that, quite frankly, that the silver lining of Kwanzaa is that it de-whitenizes Christmas. I'm going to give it to you right here. So if the objective is about race only, then why even have it? It isn't about race. It's about destroying your faith. And unfortunately, there's so many black liberation theologians in America who don't mind destroying your faith. They want to replace Christ with racism and Marxism. They want you to replace Jesus with government. They want you to replace God with rulership, human rights. I want to give you a story, and I think I'll pick up on this later on this week if I can. On May 9, 1970, this gentleman, who is now known as Karinge, actually initiated the torture session that led to his imprisonment. In fact, the torture session was described in the LA Times on May 14, 1971. And I'm going to put this in the chat room so you can see it for yourself. The victim said they were living at Karinge's home. Melanie, close your ears. This is a little too old for you. The victim said they were living at Karinge's home when Karinge accused them of trying to kill him by placing crystals in his food and water and in various areas of his house. When they denied it, allegedly they were beaten with an electrical cord, and a hot soldering iron was put in Mrs. Davis's mouth and against her face. Yeah, this is the same guy you're depending on to set you free. Police were told that one of Mrs. Jones' toes was placed in a small vice. Small vice. One woman. The following day, Karinge told the woman that Vietnamese torture is nothing compared to what I know. Ms. Temeo put detergent in their mouths. Smith turned a water hose full force on their faces, and Karinge, holding a gun, threatened to shoot both of them. The victims, Deborah Jones and Gail Davis, were whipped with an electrical cord and beaten with a karate baton after being ordered to remove their clothing. You see, nobody talks about this, about Karinge. But why? They don't have to talk about it because it matches exactly the way progressives feel about you as a black person. They would like to see you tied up and beaten. Oh, wait a minute. That's the same thing as Jim Crow, isn't it? Same thing as slavery. And I want you to know that slavery was not instituted in America based on skin color. It later became attributed to that, but it wasn't initially. And don't forget about indentured servitude in America. You see, I have to work on one thing, and let me make this very clear to you. I have to give even conservatives the truth, because they are convinced that race lives. I'm going to ask you this Christmas season, I guess I'll follow up with this maybe this later on this week or maybe next week regarding Kwanzaa, but I want you all to do one thing for me. Ask God to restore his mind in you to replace the reprobate mind that you have, even if you're conservative. Because the truth of the matter is, race is not an issue to God, it's an issue to you. If you don't believe anything I've said tonight, if you don't remember anything I said tonight, remember this. God has blessed America. It's now time for America to bless God. Good night. We'll see you tomorrow night. Jeffrey Boyd will be with us and our major Wednesday night lineup on Sackheads Radio Night. Good night and God bless.
Passing through